Welcome to Cyclops is Waiting for Me, an X-Men animated recap podcast with the Marvel anime X-Men, Episode 11, Revenge. I'm JC, and Rod and I have been very, very tired lately, but I did what I promised I would during the last recording. I got all of the X-Men 97 pack openings done and on our Instagram.
Nice. I
They're
need to catch up on
done.
that.
It's fine. Six full boxes plus 2 extra packs, and not a single autograph in the entirety of it. The ratio is 1 in 4 boxes was supposed to get you a autograph. Didn't get 1 in
like
6 boxes.
Wasn't there something about that with like the McDonald's Monopoly games in like the 90s or 2000s? They found out someone like at the factory was like rigging it or something. Like years later, I think that there was something about that where they found out someone at the source was like stripping winning things or something. That feels like it's something like that.
They were all over eBay. So, and to be fair, I also got some of the really rare cards. Like I got the da-da-da-da-da-da card, which is like a $400 card. I got that. And then I got the die-cut Madeline Pryor. I got rarer cards, and cards that were like 1 of 50 or 1 of 25. Like I got a Jean Grey that's a 1 of 25. Way rarer than the autographs. Didn't get a single autograph. So.
Wow. All right, statistically. Beat the odds of something.
Yeah, I beat the odds in the worst way.
And I'm Rod. You've heard of my music all over online. I'm a musician, so loving X-Men is limited to our intro. Started off with the TV show, the original animated series, and the toys, and then through the last few years, I've been educated through this podcast on the rest of the comic history and the rest of the series. And also, right now, I'm a little tired for unnormal reasons because we were going to record this later because I had tickets to go see Masters of the Universe because I'm an 80s kid. I was super excited to see He-Man. And 20 minutes in, the power went out. And I guess if you don't want... They're not spoilers, but if you don't want to hear about the first 15 minutes, just skip like 3 minutes from now. But the short version is... The power, it felt like it was planned, and I almost thought... I was once on a Jimmy Kimmel prank where this happened, and I almost thought Jimmy Kimmel was going to come into the studio again. Because it was literally at... If you've seen the trailers, you know that, like, Adam is back on Earth, trying to find his sword. So, the good news is, if you were wondering, it looks like they're only on Earth for less than 10 minutes. And then the rest of it is just his Eternia. But the moment he finds a sword and raises it into the air to say, I have the power. When he said power, the power cut off in the building. It felt intentional.
That timing is way too intentional.
Yeah. So anyway, spoiler part over, but everybody was upset, though, because they asked us all to leave the theater. And then no one spoke to us for half an hour. Like hundreds of people. And I finally had to
complicated. Yeah.
Well, I finally had to, and it was the AMC 16 in Burbank, and if anybody's been there, you know it's like a really busy theater. So people couldn't get in because the systems were down. People didn't know where to go to the theater. Then they were trying to decide what to do because, the scheduling's so tightly packed, they can't mess up the rest of the stuff. And so after we waited there for 20 or 30 minutes, like I just went to the customer service desk. Turns out AMC 16 in Burbank, while we were out of the theater, they rewound it a few minutes, but not to the point where it was, and just kept playing the film without anyone in the theater, and didn't tell anyone on the outside, and were only issuing refunds, but didn't say anything to anyone. So all of us were just standing outside the theater like dumbasses, waiting.
So what you're telling me is we are not ever going to get sponsored by AMC in Burbank.
Or if you want to send us a shit ton of free tickets to make up for it, I will gladly. But anyway, I got my refund and everything, and then I have to, after this I have to go to like see the rest of the next 2 hours of the movie. But like I on my way out, I went and like stopped by the group like, hey, no one's telling you guys, but they're only doing refunds. They already rewound it and it's playing in there. Everyone's like, whoa! And the last thing I heard was, oh, and a bunch of camera phones come out. So you might see some viral clips from AMC 16. Know that I just left when you see those.
I love my headcanon is you left and then they start rioting. So
I hope. I mean, everyone did have swords they bought as like popcorn buckets or whatever those things were. So, and a couple people there said that the showing that I was at was a makeup for the power going out at the Porter Ranch screening. So, I don't know what's going on.
They just don't want people seeing this movie, I feel like.
Or there's so much special effects. I will say, the first like 15, 20 minutes I saw look fantastic. Like, you know that energy of like throwing your action figures together?
Yep.
From what I saw, perfectly.
Yes, Rod, I do.
Yeah. It was super exciting. And like it had that really like glam metal soundtrack, you know, like, and all the actors, like great actors and stuff, like we're just playing it straight with the cartoon outfits and stuff. Right. Like none of this black spandex X-Men crap. Like they were just like, you want neon metallic armor? Yes, you know, that guy has a long neck, mano arms. He's like has guns coming out of thing. Like he has too many guns for the pockets he has, but they played it straight. It was just kind of like Mortal Kombat 2. Anyway, this podcast, Cyclops is Waiting for Me, is our podcast series where we're going back and watching every single animated X-Men episode we can find. This podcast started with the original 1992 X-Men animated series, building up to the release of X-Men 97. Along the way, we've completed X-Men Evolution, Wolverine and the X-Men, and have our companion interview show, the Xavier Files. Season 2 of X-Men 97 is coming in a few weeks, but until then, we're finishing up Marvel Anime X-Men, and you did the math correctly, so we're going to wrap this up, have a little bonus thing, and then
we were 1 week off on the math somehow.
Well, you were the one. You were the one doing the math. I can't take the credit for that. Yeah. and yes, X-Men 97 is confirmed for July 1st. And I think you sent me the like pirated trailer before it released, but I was like holding off because I don't tend to like to watch those like phone recordings of trailers and stuff.
Yeah, so it was the one from Comic-Con Revolution, supposedly, and you literally saw it in like a Windows Media Player screen. And then the final version between that and what we got officially from Disney were different cuts too. It wasn't the same thing, just replayed. So it felt like it was more like what was shown at New York Comic-Con previously. So
I honestly, like, when we finally saw the real trailer, it was great. Super stoked. Put this, like, because season 3 is we already know is already in production, and then they greenlit season 4.
Yep.
Like, I would, if I were, like, anybody watching, like, with any show, give grace. But I would say, like, because there's that much, like, runway they're giving the show, it feels like they're playing the long game on stuff. So especially with all the X-Men spread through time, it doesn't seem like it'll be like a super buttoned up ending, right? Like if they're doing 2 more seasons and stuff. So like I'm excited to see season 2. I want to see it because I want to see where they end up. I love Apocalypse and stuff. Obviously, like all the stuff, the not so secret Gambit stuff, and things. But like I'm really excited to see where like the long term run of the show goes. You know, because it feels like after that, it's kind of its own new thing, right? Because like season 1 of 97 was like continuing 92. This seems to be like kind of delving into like an like wrapping up the Apocalypse stuff from the original show. And then
like they're kind of like they're picking the storylines that they want to interject into, and they get to use season 2 as like a pause point because the stories that they're going into were like the time travel ones, like Scott and Jean in the future with child Nate and stuff like that. And then this like, you know, going back and having like the dual Apocalypse stories of like the in the past Apocalypse, and then, you know, there's the theories of who the Horsemen are going to end up being because of characters you see that are dead or implied to be dead in from season 1 of the show and the trailer.
Gotcha. Yeah,
like Magic is implied to be dead based on Colossus from behind going to the memorial. So
yeah, and I think they even show her in his arms, right, in the trailer.
It's like a pulled back shot of it, but yeah. But he's also wearing the cape, which is the Acolyte story of Colossus. So yeah,
what a wild reveal to have Magic be dead in the trailer. That feels like something that would happen in the show. Like, so who knows? We're excited to have it back though.
But the interesting part is if you look at the board from the X-Men 97 season 2 comic, which we're going to do a separate mini podcast about this, but Magic isn't listed as dead from Genosha. She's right over here.
I wonder if it's that way on the because that happened in the last episode of 97 too, right? That board.
I think all the other characters line up with what the board said. Yeah, but there's also the impression that Bobby is dead from from some of the stuff in the trailer, Iceman, and he's
Yeah.
not listed as dead here. So
they probably die in the run of the show. That's
possibly.
even more wild that they would like reveal that in the trailer.
And not have it be solely tied to Genosha deaths, yeah.
Yeah. Or,
I did appreciate Punker Ducky's post where she wants Leech to be Famine as the way to bring Leech back to life. So
that'd be dark. I mean, like,
Yep.
as someone who cares for Leech, would hate to see that because we want to see like a zombified child
Yep.
or whatever. But plot point wise, be kind of cool.
no. But speaking of Leech drama, the Magneto helmet over my shoulder, and I did a separate post about it on the Instagram. Matthew Watterson signed it, and he put the "Don't be or be not afraid" quote in German on the the helmet. So
I still think it would have been like funnier to have him say something about being horny on the side.
well, then you go buy your own Magneto helmet and get him to sign it, Rod. But yes, I don't know if it's going to post before or after this episode, but we're going to do a separate quick recap of what happens in this comic. The one thing I will say, the writing elevated compared to what it was in the first one. Anybody who listened to those knows I felt like it was like kind of written down for like a Saturday morning audience. This is not as sophisticated as the show, but it is definitely better. It doesn't feel like it was written for like a 7-year-old to read. So
There's probably more coordination, right? First season,
or
everybody's getting to see
they
legs
watched
back in.
the show and they were like, "Oh shit," because it's the same writer. So he was probably like,
Yeah.
"Shit, I was writing for a Saturday morning cartoon, and then the updated version of the show is like, oh, this doesn't fit the tone right," you know?
That happens. That's what I mean, though. Is like when everybody's running at the same time, and you're like, "This is what you're doing, right?" Yeah, and then you see it, you're like, "Wait, you told me you were doing something else."
Yep. So, yeah, but we unfortunately just life got in the way, and we were not able to do a full recap of the trailer. But we are planning out our July and August to make sure that we get all the episodes recorded and up on our standard schedule. So. Some quick reminders. We are a recap show about a series that started over 15 years ago. There are going to be spoilers, and if you don't want it spoiled for you, pause the podcast, watch the episode, whether that's on DVD or whatever website happens to be hosting it, and come back. God damn, they really need to put it on Disney+. We are not currently sponsored or affiliated with Marvel Animation, Disney, or Disney Plus in any way.
And don't forget to follow us on social media at Cyclops IWFM Pod on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook.
Today we are how deep into the episode did we get? Only 13 minutes. It's still a record fast start for us. Today we're talking about season 1, episode 11, titled "Revenge." It originally aired on June 17th, 2011 in Japan under the title "End," which is ironic because this is the second to last episode and not the last episode. Yeah. And in the U.S., it ended up airing on December 30th of 2011. So they were doing this on New Year's Eve, which is a wild time to have a first episode debut. It currently sits as a 7.0 star rating on IMDb. And I feel like from the comments from Rod before we started recording, you didn't like this episode that much because you're like, I don't think the episode's going to be long at all for us to talk about. So
it was fine. It's just, it was like I'd said before that there's a lot of episodes that just happen in one room. This one literally just happens in one room and like a brief flashback to a playground, and that's it. So it's fine. It's definitely like a ramp up to the last episode. Yep. But I just thought it was like, wow, this is like crazy that they didn't even move in the room. Like they were just around. The
semicircle stayed pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Did your lighting just go off?
Probably because the sun set. So like, if you're watching, you probably see like a little light behind me because my door is open because of daylight savings and the summer in California and stuff. The sun sets at like midnight now. You know.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. So, episode kicks off with everybody encased in the goo.
Marshes. Yeah.
Except for Cyclops, Mastermind, and of course Takeo, who's still in the like glass fishbowl bubble thing. Yeah. And Mastermind is
based are in the neuron thing.
Yeah, they're in the separate neuron hole, which is a phrase I never want to say out loud again.
The neuron hole.
Mastermind tells Cyclops to basically like sit back, watch, and like hold back on any of his urges, while Takeo is like basically crying with a nasty headache, for lack of a better way to describe it. Like it's just like Mastermind just pushing on him, like to try to get him to break.
Yeah, I assumed he was doing some sort of hallucination thing, like he was doing with other people, right? And we don't really
like showing him just like awful, painful things to crack him kind of scenario.
Yeah, and he was like distorting the longer it went through the episode.
Yep. Like you mentioned, Beast and Wolverine are in pain, and you see a little more of Neuron's power, where he basically stomps his foot, and that causes Beast and Wolverine to writhe in agony on it. It felt like this episode, for some reason to me, the cuts were very, very prominent of like when they were going to commercial and not. Like they there were more obvious jump points and like reestablishing shots of the same episode. So
it faded out. The music
fade back in.
It faded out, fade back in. Yeah.
Yep. Back in the main room, Cyclops like tries to slyly go for his visor, and Marsh grabs him. Of course, Takeo keeps screaming, and the whole dome itself starts to like shudder from like his energy coming out of him, and they keep referencing Hisako's hand, which I'm happy we're finally done with this fucking my hand hurts story.
I still don't. I get the connection. I don't get how in that universe that works, but it's fine. It's whatever.
So that is actually where Hisako starts to remember him fully, mentioning that they played together at the academy, and you get more of the info dump of like, oh well, he could just like unleash his power and destroy the whole world. And you find out from Mastermind that it's like, yeah, his power is reality warping, and effectively he twists like the fabric of reality, which read very Scarlet Witch description to me.
I was wondering, that was interesting, because we said that Takeo is new for the show, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so like they pulled a whole Cole Young from Mortal Kombat, if anybody doesn't know. Like there's like hundreds of other main characters, one of which does exactly the thing you're talking about. And let's make a new person.
He's kind of a combination of Proteus and Scarlet Witch, and then like to a very minor extent Legion, because he has to still be Professor X's kid. But that's how the reality warping powers came across for me on it. And they basically say, all the mutant manifestations that were happening were because of him. And then you see his hands start transforming, and he starts becoming not disfigured, but like a funhouse mirror of himself almost.
That's what I was saying. He was distorting, the longer it went. Mm-hmm. Like his physical being. I actually had here Mastermind rage baiting Takeo.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rage baiting happening in this episode.
Similar notes said differently. Yours is better. So, and here's the only thing of this episode that doesn't make sense to me is what is Mastermind's end goal? Because all he's doing is just rage baiting this kid, to use your phrasing, into going nuts, which is going to destroy the world. Like, what is the end game he's actually going for?
Is he implying that he could survive that, or he just wants to end it for everybody?
I don't know. He doesn't give an indication in either direction.
Hopefully we'll find out next episode.
Do you remember what happens to Mastermind later in the episode?
Well, I mean, if we not that he would say it, but that someone would explain like what the purpose was. The
next thing is Sasaki is crying about it, and you get the memory of Hisako and Takeo on the playground, where they're doing what I love X-Men do, or mutants do, but they do it in the fucked up manner, where it's like, we're going to play softball, but have powers. We're going to have a snowball fight with powers. And that one kid's a fucking bully and just decides, like, I'm going to use my water or weather manipulation and throw 50 snowballs at Takeo, who cannot handle it.
And that's the thing is, like, I kind of half blame, like, a lot of, like, Xavier's Academy and I guess the Sasaki school or whatever, because, like, they're just kids, but at the same time, they do have powers. So, like, the human world, like, the Friends of Humanity people are like, we have to, we can't explode things because some kid had a temper tantrum. It's like, and maybe just not have them unsupervised gallivanting around a private school that's, like, for like, kids with no powers. Or, like, there has to be, like, other provisions.
Yeah, like, maybe have, like, for every kid, like, every 3 kids is 1 teacher. That way it's like,
something.
Okay, the kid who could light a bunch of shit on fire, you have the water-powered teacher and stuff like that to, like, put barriers into place. So that way when one kid decides to bully the reality manipulator, where he turns snowballs into fireballs, which is what makes Hisako's power manifest. When they said it manifested once or when she was younger, that's the time that it happened. And then, these fireballs start bouncing off of armor and light the village on fire.
Yeah, and then it's what gave her hand scar, right? That hurt.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I guess his powers manifesting, the fireballs carried so much trauma with it.
Or it's because it was like... The fire was caused by a reality, or it was reality warping that caused the burn. So that's why it's like, I don't know, man. It's like the scar tissue in my elbow from wrestling.
Yeah.
So, and then she says that he disappeared after. You find out that Sasaki basically made him make everybody forget, and then threw him into this, like, awful cage because she was scared of what was going to happen to him from everything that happened in that incident. And he's now, like, walking around and shambling in the cage. Like, he's, like, kind of a zombie, kind of a ghost vibe to him. So
yeah. Was that the picture you were telling me to remind you about?
No, that's at the end, but thank you for not forgetting on it. I appreciate that.
They kind of, like, that was the thing. That was that distortion thing that kind of reminded me, like, the way he looked, the more he looked through the episode.
And then Cyclops decides this is a good time to yell at the doctor for not telling Xavier about his kid and locking him up in a glass vase, basically.
Yeah,
saying he has a right.
Memories.
Yeah. And then they do a shot, and, like, if you're gonna lean into the tropes of anime, I get it, man. But there is Emma who's wrapped up in, like, stuff, and her boobs are gigantic. They, like...
I mean, they're being squished.
Yeah, and pushed up.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. And then Takeo yells, and it very much reminded me of Legion. And, like, I know you've seen the show, I've read the comic on it, but it very much was, like, that vibe of when, like, Legion is losing his shit, which happens very often in everything Legion is involved in. So it totally gave me a Legion vibe.
I only saw the first season of Legion. I need to go find the second season and watch it because I didn't see it. I saw him scream, but I didn't see him, like, get to critical mass like in this episode with Takeo.
Yep. We cut over and see Xavier, who still hasn't crashed somehow, and the blackbirds that is falling.
He's been falling for hours.
Did you know it was Jean at first who is the voice in his head waking him up?
No, so my note says a woman's voice wakes up X because I was waiting for him, because a lot of these characters in anime shows, but especially anime, like, address, the person speaking to him. So I was waiting for Xavier to be like, no, Sasaki, no, I can't, or something, like, but he didn't say
or
it.
Or no, like, Jean, yeah.
Yeah, or something. Yeah. So he didn't, so it's like, woman's voice. But then when he said, like, could it be? And I was like, oh, okay, this is probably Jean then.
So she said the quote, which I didn't write down the full thing, but I think it's, where there's life, there's hope, or something to that extent, which was from one of the earlier episodes. But also, the song that plays under it is very, very similar to the song from X-Men 97 with the Return of the Phoenix. It's the song, I think the title from the Newton Brothers is She's Back, because it has like that, the Falcon cry at the beginning of it, and then the da-da-da-da-da, like melodic under it. Very similar vibe to it. So when we do finally set up our interview with the Newton Brothers, we do need to have that ask on there. So
I wouldn't be surprised if because, like, in classical music there's a lot of, like, Phoenix, like, themes and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there's just some sort of, like, homage or, like, tradition in the scoring thing, for something like that. So I don't know that. I'm just, like, kind of speculating.
No, that's you. You know way more about classic music than I do. So
yeah, like Stravinsky has like the Firebird Suite. That's not a Phoenix, but it's, similar and stuff.
Kind
so,
of
like,
the same thing.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, there's like similar themes. So I wonder, if there's something like, I don't know, that's like it's like a tried and true method or whatever.
Yep. So Xavier does wake up, and then he questions, is it really her? Obviously referring to Jean at that point. Because, like, yeah, she's been dead for a year, so that would be a very weird thing to have happen right now. Over in the building, it is falling in on itself. And this is where, again, I still don't know what Mastermind's MO is, because he's like, I want to share this whole power with the world. And it's like, share the power with the world or make the world fall apart. Like, it doesn't seem like you're getting anything out of this at this point.
Unless we find out that his motive was he was wanting to turn everybody into mutants. That's what his thinking was going to happen or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Then mentions the problems that they had last time and doesn't want to have those repeat itself. Hisako is like just showing sympathy for Takeo and everything that's going on. And then she's kind of over this shit, and that's what inspires her to armor up and actually is able to hurt Marsh, and like his stuff starts to burn off of them almost. Yeah. And then, unlike what we normally write, which is like big old fight, this was a very fast fight where Cyclops murders Marsh.
Yeah, I said Armor hulks out, escapes, fights Marsh, and then Cyclops vaporizes him. Like, we saw him, like, that was like a Mortal Kombat X-ray move. Like, we saw his, like, flesh, like, burn off. Not burn, but I guess, like peel off of him.
It's almost like when it was, like, DC versus Mortal Kombat, where there's, like, there were fatalities, but they weren't as brutal. Like, you didn't see blood and, like, viscera. That's kind of what that one felt like, so.
Yeah.
Over in the little cocoon thing, Neuron is distracted. Beast and Wolverine are like getting ready to go. And Wolverine makes a comment about like, oh, it looks like, or it sounds like the new kid is pulling all the weight. The veterans got to get their shit together.
Yeah.
With Cyclops now like unleashed and stuff, he calls dibs on Mastermind. Emma throws herself over armor to protect her, and Mastermind does his psychic attack on Cyclops. And then we get the reference, which I don't think I would have assumed you'd know it prior to Deadpool and Wolverine, but the X crucifix is now just being such a prevalent scene from Wolverine or Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yeah, I knew it from before, just I think it was the cover that I saw like around and stuff. I believe in the episode they don't actually
they don't show that. That is just a cover treatment from what I've seen. So
yeah, but I hadn't seen it in that extent where it was just like endless fields.
Yeah,
of like crucifixions and stuff.
Yeah, because what we've seen in other stuff like the Days of Future Past episode is like rows of graveyards and gravestones, but not like, oh, they're still up and like hung on these crucifixes.
Yeah, like, and it looked like they were like decaying the further out they went. Stuff. It's like they've been there for a while.
Yep. Scott sees it. Jean is there alone, and he blames her because he thinks it's the Dark Phoenix aspect of Jean, and then Jean blames Scott because of being a failure. And this is our Scott, right?
Yeah, I like this as a couples fight because there's no specifics. Like, they kind of leave it up to our imagination. It's a very like vague nothing fight between a couple.
You
like,
fucked up.
This is your fault.
You fucked up.
No, you did it. Like, why? Because you're a loser. It's like
no. And basically, this Jean is saying to Scott, like, you sealed the fate of mutant kind. Which I actually really like that line, because that is so much of Scott for the last, like, 15, 20 years of storytelling. Like, like everything that was basically, like, Utopia onward to Krakoa, and then even the modern, like, post-Krakoan story. It's all just, like, Scott taking the weight of the world on his shoulders. So
yeah. So my note here was Jean rage baits Scott. I think that's the theme of the episodes. Everyone's like rage baiting somebody in here. Oh, there's more to come. But like, and then in the middle of that, for some reason I wrote this note. I thought it was important that like Emma decided to stay in diamond form.
Yes,
because there was some implication that like Mastermind could like piggyback off her powers to like do something worse
and make a bigger illusion than what he can do by himself. Yeah,
I don't know if I understood that that's how that worked prior to this.
I don't know if the writers knew that's how it worked. Yeah. Also, this was one of the episodes that didn't have a lot of notes when comparing like the English version to the original Japanese version. So that might not have even been what she said in the original cut either. So
yeah.
No.
She's just like, are my boobs popping out?
No. Then the building itself starts grabbing people, grabs armor, Storm, Sasaki. It looks like it's going to bury Emma under it, and then Armor is able to get back in there and make the save instead of letting her be crushed. Although if there's going to be somebody who could be crushed by a building and be okay with it, it's like as we saw in X-Men 97 season 1, it's the woman made of diamond, but you know.
And she can stay in it even if she's unconscious.
Mm-hmm. Inside the neuron spot. Nope, don't like that one either.
Yeah.
Wolverine says the next time that they get zapped, Beast needs to just keep hitting him. Full throttle. Beast like questions it. And I love that he's like, nope, keep going. And that's what sends Wolverine probably into the most feral version we've seen in any of the animated series. Like, I think this is the most like Berserker we've ever seen him.
Yeah, this was my next rage bait note was like Wolverine makes Beast do a rage bait fastball special, because it's like it's not the physical like alley oop. It's just like it's like a psychological.
it's you punched him so many times in the face that he threw himself at Neuron. Yeah. He basically hulks out and like splits his clothes. He has like red eyes. And then Neuron, like, because he's so used to working with just people's like actual like sensitivities, he throws like metal coins at him because he thinks that's gonna stop him.
I was wondering if those were actually coins. I was like, that's such like an anime thing. Just be like coins, you know, like.
Well, I think it's because his power is so strong on anybody else that it's like, if I hit you with a coin, it's going to hurt you so much that you're going to want to die.
Yeah.
But because Wolverine has like lost all pain and feeling, no.
Yeah, he's a blind rage. Yeah, like you said, Berserker.
Yeah, and then does the stabs to the side. It kills Neuron in like that single stab because his power wears off on Beast. And then Wolverine throws him off to the side and just keeps beating the shit out of his corpse.
I kind of wonder. I mean, I guess it's the original Japanese version because I have a DVD with all the languages on it. But it kind of made me wonder if there's a version where they don't crop it in, because it was a weird framing to show. You know, you see him enter, like exit the frame, but you don't actually see the side of the frame.
Yeah. And then Beast goes over trying to stop him. Wolverine throws him off, and then it makes it look like he's going to stab him. And then he does a gotcha.
What like... I was trying to figure out at what point when he came out of Berserker mode, you know?
Same.
Like...
I until he said gotcha, I thought he came out literally right as the spikes were, like, up in front of Beast's eye. But for him to say gotcha, that means he turned around already out of Berserker, I feel like.
Yeah, maybe in the middle of, like, killing Neuron.
Of the 7th stab to the face. Yeah. And then Wolverine passes out.
Needs to eat something.
Yep. There is more of Jean in Armageddon mode. Begins attacking Scott, and, like, everything is, like, red. And then all of a sudden, it's blue. And that is where you see actual Jean show up, and this Phoenix version of her or Dark Phoenix version is shocked. And I didn't realize it until I rewatched the episode. Dark Phoenix always calls him Cyclops. So the illusion
good
version
catch.
was calling him Cyclops and not Love or Scott or like the other things that Jean would call him. And I didn't realize it until the second watch through. So
I don't know if this has any precedent, because I was a little confused by this. Is that implying that like the Phoenix carried Jean's consciousness in like the astral realm until this point, or was this like?
What I was describing was the illusion, but like yes, this is Jean didn't fully die because of when she died, she just became a part of space and stardust or some shit.
If it was just Scott, I would have just thought it was like his hallucination, but because she spoke to Xavier like a few minutes before, I was like, okay, so she's around.
No, it definitely has precedent with the fact that Jean has died like multiple times in the comic books and come back because of the Phoenix and things like that. Definitely has precedent. So
I think I said this like years ago when we started this. The Jean's like the Kenny of X-Men. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh my god, they killed Kenny. They killed Jean.
But outside of season 1 of X-Men the Animated Series, no other Jean faints. That was just for season 1 of X-Men 92. So
after season 1, they were just like, it's getting kind of sexual.
Yeah.
This
is getting sexual. Let's kill her. Do not put that as the clip for this week. Yeah. Rod, I have to upload them, so that will be an equality check. But Jean is telling Scott that he needs to move on. Cyclops is sad, but then he's basically like, yeah, I didn't die that day. I need to stop acting like I did. And the Jean and the Phoenix illusion end up merging, and that is like in the projection. Scott is basically like, I'm gonna blast away this fake Phoenix, and in doing so, it knocks Mastermind in the real world out, and he pulls back that amulet that we saw in like episode 1 or 2, and gives his like I'm moving on speech, and then Mastermind is like, well, fuck this, I still have the kid, and then the kid murders him with the building.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. No.
It was like the tent, like not pole, like I don't know, like tubes or something.
Yeah, like he took pieces of the building, turned them into tendrils or tentacles or whatever you want to call it, and just squeezed the life out of Mastermind. I do love, if you look at that shot, Emma kind of like looks away a little bit. Armor looks away completely. Wolverine is staring at it as it's happening. Like, he did not like lose eye contact. He's like, I want to make sure that motherfucker's dead.
Good point. He's a survival guy.
Yep. At that point, the glass around Takeo breaks fully, and they make a point of saying that the building is collapsing because Dr. Sasaki wants to run in and try to save him, and they're like, no, it's collapsing, so we have to get the fuck out of here at that point. Mm-hmm. Up in the sky, the Blackbird is flying closer. This is absolutely where it starts. Like, I know I've said this to death. It felt like certain scenes from Evangelion to me. This is literally there's a giant lights like tower in the sky, which is very
beam
much
in the sky.
Yeah,
beam in the sky. This is a sci-fi trope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I put it here. It's like the building starts collapsing, and Xavier's kind of like, I wonder if I can ever find my X-Men. Oh, okay.
And then he gets hit with a turbulence like circle of red. So
So and then I put there's like Takeo's doing a WandaVision, right? Like the hex sphere thing. It's basically what he's doing.
Yeah. The Blackbird starts falling apart. On the ground, they call it a reality distortion field, which absolutely sounds like the AT field from Evangelion 2. Like, there's certain parts of this show which 100% had like crossover inspo with Eva. You can't make me believe that unless you like introduce me to the team and they're like, we never watched that anime, which I would still call bullshit. But
or it's the same team.
No, because the team for Ava was working on the movie at this point, and that movie took like 5 years to make.
Gotcha.
But yeah, instead of the reality distortion field, it's called an absolute terror field, which is way better naming.
Yeah.
And then you see like little energy boy kaiju, and like he starts getting bigger. And there's like, all right, it's going to be the end of the world. And Wolverine's like, all right, let's fucking kill him. He's like, let's go. He's like, I'm done with this shit.
We have to. And what do they say? They have to spread out to get him.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
I was just saying that like, Xavier kamikazes into that building. I was surprised like how hard the Blackbird crashed.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, so like he just like do the Independence Day, like sacrifice himself to save the team. I thought he just crashed straight to Takeo.
There was a real quick shot where you did see the pod.
The pod. Yeah.
But yeah,
but even still, physically, like he'd be scrambled in that little pod.
He has a jet that shoots a like little like escape pod out of it. There's cushioning and shit. He's fine.
Yeah.
But Hisako questions what they're gonna do. Dr. Sasaki is saying, no, you can't do this. Emma doesn't want to kill him, or is down to kill him at this point. Like, she's actually like, I guess we got to do this. Like, she's kind of okay with this.
It's a trolley problem.
It's absolutely it's the biggest trolley problem.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, sidebar, my favorite trolley problem is there is a child in front of the trolley tracks, and the kid has the option of keeping it on to hit the one person or veering off, or keeping on to hit 5 or veering off, and they literally just turn the car so it hits everyone.
That's funny. That's like a
4-year-old, and I loved it.
I was watching. I don't know if you ever worked with him, Michael Stevens from Vsauce. Him and Hannah Fry.
Yeah, I know Michael. I never worked with him, but I know Michael.
Him and Hannah Fry have a podcast now, and I just saw an episode they did about the trolley problem, I think. And I didn't watch his original show, but I guess on Mind something, whatever his original show was, they did a real life trolley problem with like unknowing people. And he said the first lesson was everyone didn't do anything.
Yep.
Because they would rather be responsible for something than make the decision for somebody or whatever.
Yes.
But then the other button, though, it was like Michael said that they had to provide extended mental health care for them because like they wanted to make sure people didn't leave there thinking they were the type of person to let people die.
Have you seen the Jennifer Lawrence interview where they ask her the trolley problem?
No.
And she's like, oh yeah, I'm responsible. I'll pull the trigger every fucking time. Like, she like goes for it. She's my favorite unhinged.
Wild.
She's self-aware unhinged though. She's doing it for the viral moment. She's fully aware of what she's doing.
It's kind of like Cardi B with did you see the interview? Was it Gail? Somebody asked Cardi's like, "Did you hear what Michelle Obama said about like when they go low, we go high?" You know, and Cardi's like, "Yes, I did hear that." She's like, "Is that what you would do?" She's like, "No." It's like when they go low, I go lower.
Yeah, I have heard that one. Yeah, so they all fan out. There's a lot of yelling, and Xavier comes in out of the Blackbird, and then you get this like the shot of Xavier's face, and it superimposes over Takeo's face, and that's actually the image I sent to you because I wanted to show it on screen. So
gotcha.
That is from the Batman Who Laughs in DC Metal, and it is the darkest version of Batman. It is a Joker Batman who ascends to godhood, basically, and the design is so similar to it too. Like, it's eerily close. Like, for something like this came out 8 years before DC Death Metal did. So, no.
Is that the Joker Batman that was in Mortal Kombat as a guest character?
I didn't see that one. Is that the one that had like the metal across the spikes in front of his eyes? Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so
he goes darker and basically becomes an evil god. So
yeah, that's kind of funny. Like, I know that character in context of Mortal Kombat.
You know everything in context of Mortal Kombat, Rod. Also, I finally saw Mortal Kombat. Go see Mortal Kombat. It's fun and it's stupid.
Mortal Kombat 2?
Yeah,
that was fun, right? Yeah, I'll tell you more about He-Man when I'm finished with it, but it feels like that's the same way. It's like they're just like, hey, 80s kids, 90s kids, just they want to see their action figures on the big screen.
Yep.
That's all we want.
Nope. So that is everything for the penultimate episode, or as the Japanese creators called this episode, the end.
The
end. I felt like this episode, and this isn't a negative, this is just like a statement around it, had the most anime trope moments to it of the entire series. Like it was the most anime ass episode of an anime. So
yeah, like the beam in the sky, and
the beam in the sky, the electric monster, the distortion, the fight with Wolverine and stuff like that. Like it was all the stuff from an anime I'd expect from an anime. So
yeah, nice. Yeah, then it just leaves on a cliffhanger, and I guess the whole last episode is going to be Xavier fighting his son, like 20 other stories, right?
Yep. Yeah, so we have one episode left of this. We have to figure out if we're doing something for a filler week or not, and Rod and I will figure that out off air before the next recording. And then, so if the first episode of 97 is on July 1st, that means the 6th will be our first episode of X-Men 97 Season 2. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
yeah, same.
It's hard not to think about X-Men 97 once the trailer's been out, you know?
Oh, yeah. No. It's real. It's real now. So.
Yes, exactly. And I've seen another post about the Tribeca thing, but I've only seen it, like, certain people have posted it, but I've still not seen it from any official Disney source. So I still don't know if it's legit or not.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks or whenever it happens, right?
I mean, a week from Saturday, so yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see.
But yeah, that's everything we have going into this episode, and yeah, the other thing I posted about online, and then I went onto eBay to just start figuring it out, is what set of cards I want to open up next. And here's the thing. I can't do the Fleer Ultra cards, the ones from 94 and 95, because I literally know I have those full sets at my mom's house. I know
nice.
I know exactly where they are. So I'm not going to spend hundreds of dollars on a box of cards that I have every single card already in. So I am looking at other X-Men card sets to figure out about it. And I found one that's very interesting to me, but I need to figure out the tariff situation on it. It is a set of X-Men cards from Peru that have amazing artwork on them, and they're like within the last like 2 years. They're these beautiful cards, but the tariff on the box is like $50.
I guess do some more research, but my understanding, the tariff situation got reversed.
So it's not the Trump tariff situation; it's just tariffs in general.
Just regular tariffs. I just say that because tariffs. Because I last year, the beginning of the year, I ordered some stuff that I didn't know where it came from. I just ordered some clothes, and I guess they were manufactured and shipped from Sweden. And I was like, sure, fine, whatever. It didn't affect me at the time. Yep. And then 3 months after I received the stuff, I got a tariff bill from FedEx for like 200% the amount of what I ordered.
Yeah. And so the discount on the clothes, you end up paying more than double anyway. Yeah.
It wasn't even a discount. I was just, it was like, actually, it's the shirt as in a bunch of stuff. So it was all this VHS stuff.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen it before. I guess, anyway. So I technically got a bill 3 months after that, but I didn't know about it because by the time I got the bill, I had moved. And even though they're supposed to forward my mail, for whatever reason, none of the invoices made it to me. And then I only found out the beginning of this year, so almost like a full year later, I got a call from a collections company for it. And then I like pushed back. I was like, what? Like how? Like, okay, so this is a year later, but also you didn't why was it just not billed at the time of receiving it? You know, like, and they didn't have a good answer. And so I paid
because that's not how bureaucracy works, Rod.
Yeah. So then they said I could do some stuff with PL. I tried it, was a bunch of stuff. I ended up paying it 1 day before the tariffs got reversed. And then I found out, supposedly FedEx is going to find a way to get it back to the customers, but I found out from like the news that the corporations aren't responsible for refunding the customers.
No, they get the money back, but then you have to trust the company independently to do the right thing.
And most of them just aren't. Like, so...
No way.
Whatever. Anyway.
Right. Yeah,
So
they're not
good
going to
luck
lower
with the cards.
prices. They're not going to return tariffs. We're all fucked. Capitalism
it's
is a dying program, so it's fine.
That's great.
Well, on that wonderful note, we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you for joining us. If you like what you heard, we'd appreciate a rating on the podcast app of your choosing. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts. And if you have any thoughts, make sure you drop them into the comments for either the YouTube upload, Spotify upload, or the official Instagram post that we make about this episode.